Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.
Hey guys, welcome in and a very happy Friday to you as we got a big card here in the association tonight. Going to break down some of these games, find a couple of edges for you, see if we can't make it a profitable Friday, and we're going to do it with the Friday crew here at WagerTalk.com as we welcome in the prop god himself, Andy Lang, Tony Mejia in the middle there, and of course, 2 R's, 1 L. That's where you'll find Steve Merrill here back in action today. Gentlemen, loaded card here today, and should be actually a fun one heading into this weekend. Plenty of college hoops as well, but in the NBA, Andy, I know you got to be locked and loaded, ready for tonight's matchups. Tell us about it at Wager Talk.
Yeah, it's been an up and down roller coaster since coming out of the All-Star break. Had some good nights and some bad nights. It feels like we've been alternating and just feels like we're on the verge of having a huge night. We got a 5% play up at wagertalk.com that I just really love. We're on a 69-unit run. Shout out to Gronkowski, 69-unit run since November 18th. And so you can go grab that. And all of our props are attached to the 5% play. So it's a great slate of games, a lot of really good spots, a lot of props that really jumped off the page. And we won't have a lot of props. Like, we won't have like one prop at every game, but we got several games that we feel pretty dialed in. So looking forward to a really good Friday. Let's kick this weekend off with some profits.
All right, let us do it. And I know you already you got the action cruising here, Tony Mejia. Tell me about, I know you're in college hoops. Tell us what you got in the NBA tonight.
Well, our NBA fan base doesn't want to know that Charleston Southern and USC Upstate at the under 4. They don't want to know that? All right. Well, only 4 minutes left in that game. But, yeah, I've carved out some time and attention for the NBA as well. Although I know that the basketball gods are mad at me for backing the Lakers last night. They might take my plus 100 plus units and NBA sides away from me simply for making that bad choice of taking the points with the Lakers last night. Good Lord, what an abomination. But we will try to rebound from that awful decision tonight and into the weekend. We'll get to see what the Philadelphia 76ers look like with actually playing a competent team on both sides of the ball, because so far they've played a Minnesota team that doesn't defend and the New York Knicks. So we'll see how they fare against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the game I know is on our slate today. And looking forward to the show with the boys.
All right, good stuff there. And Merrill, what is going on, my man? I know NBA, college hoops. I know you got to be locked and loaded tonight here on this card.
Yeah, it's a great time to go to my page, Steve Merrill at WagerTalk.com, for several reasons. First of all, I did the NBA talk show with Jay Money at 1 o'clock Eastern Day right after I did Wager Talk today, and I've got that posted right now on my page, a direct link to his YouTube show. We covered every NBA game, so if you don't get enough NBA coverage here, check that out. Get a second thought as well with Jay. Really good show there. Also, I've got 2 NBA best bets tonight and a college basketball best bet. Hey, look, everybody knows number one the last 2 years in college hoops. Well, people might not know, Joe, the past 10 months, I'm number one in the NBA as well. 78 units won the past 10 months at WagerTalk.com. So both college and pro hoops, this is the time to be playing it. I've got 3 strong best bets right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And a quick reminder, later this evening, right after this show, I'm going to record that college basketball top 25 video for Saturday and Sunday. There's a Sunday game as well when the lines come up in a couple hours. So check that out this weekend here on Wager Talk TV.
All right. Love it. So bottom line, guys, we got some games here tonight, some interesting matchups, only a couple of really big spreads. And we're going to start with, believe it or not, one of the bigger spreads in the association tonight as contrarian play of the day. Yeah, well, the Detroit Pistons took care of last night. Tonight we're hoping the Cleveland Cavaliers can get it done. 7.5 here, guys, as the money keeps coming in on who else? James Harden and those ever public-loving Philadelphia 76ers here. Feels like a big number. I do believe Garland back in here tonight for the Cavs. So I don't know, Andy. The contrarian gods not feeling the public love for the Sixers. Are you willing to back them in taking the Cavs and the points tonight?
Not a real strong feel for the side in this game. I have a feeling Tony and Steve will have a lot better feel for this one, but this is a gorgeous game from a prop betting perspective. These are the games that we love. You've got a lot of big names, you got some overs, and you got some unders. I will go over a couple of props here that I like, and we're going to start with Tyrese Maxey, over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been fantastic. Since the Harden trade, he's gone for 32, 31, and 32 points, rebounds, and assists. He's shooting really good. That's my only cause for concern, is eventually he's going to regress back, but I love that he's had 12 or more shots in all games since All-Star break. He's been active on rebounding and active on assists. And I feel like the books are just slowly kind of creeping up his total. It was at 23.5 last game. It's at 24.5. And as long as he's going 3 straight games with over 30 points, rebounds, and assists, I like the value in his over. And here's one that kind of flies under the radar. Tybalt, they have his points, rebounds, and assists at 9.5. That's not just points. That's points, rebounds, and assists. Since the Harden trade, he's had 20, 16, and 13. So I feel like we're getting some really good value here. You can fall into 10 points, rebounds, and assists when you're a starter. And we got Tobias Harris, game time decision. I don't know if he goes or not, but could be a few more stats available. But I know everyone's going to be looking at Harden and Garland and Embiid. I'm going to be looking at Maxey and Tybalt as kind of these secondary guys that could get over their totals.
All right, good stuff there. What do you think here, Mahir? Cleveland hasn't been a great stretch here, but Garland looks like he'll finally be back with that back issue in this lineup tonight. What do you think here? 7.5 points? You like the contrarian gods angle here?
Yeah, bonus of starting slightly late is the 4:30 NBA injury report is out and available, and Tobias Harris is on it, and Darius Garland is not. So we should expect to see Garland tonight, and the Cavs close to full strength. No Rajon Rondo, but they've been getting good play out of Brandon Goodwin as a starter, so he'll slip into that backup role, and they're ready to go. And we'll see about Tobias Harris because he missed the shoot around, just was completely absent. I don't know what his illness is. If it's anything like my stomach flu at the beginning of the week, I was laid out for a day and then felt fine the next day. But yeah, I mean, you probably shouldn't count on him playing if it's that. We'll see. It's non-COVID related is the only details that we have. And then I would definitely agree with Andy on Tybalt and Maxey, specifically Maxey, because it seems like he's done a really nice job of finding ways to remain productive, no longer having the ball in his hands as much as he did before James Harden showed up. And both guys, Harden and Maxey and everybody else, has still allowed Joel Embiid to do what he does. And this will be an interesting matchup for Embiid, who's grown up terrorizing Jared Allen. Allen played with Brooklyn before he came over to Cleveland, so he was obviously in the division and right there in terms of youth next to Embiid. So they've played together often, know each other well. Both All-Stars this year, so that'll be an interesting matchup. I think the best play if you're wanting to touch the side, I'd take the points. Best play is probably on the under. I think that the Sixers have really gotten to the free throw line and were able to take advantage of the New York Knicks the past 2 games. The first game was against Minnesota. They don't play any defense and like to speed up the tempo. Today it's going to be a curveball. The Cavs, 103 points a game they allow. I think that's tops in the league, and they really make things difficult with their size. So if you take Tobias Harris out of the equation, Philly's going to have to do a lot of adjusting on the fly. So that's my lean right there, the under, and I could see the Cavs sneaking in with a cover.
We're being completely honest. Your stomach issues had a lot more to do with backing Charleston Southern in games than it really had anything to do with.
No. My kids brought it home.
I heard Steve Merrill. Talk to us here, Merrill. What is going on? It feels like the public just coming for hard. They love them Sixers here tonight. Do you like the Sixers tonight?
I'm just glad I'm going last because I bought some extra time for all those viewers to switch over from the USC upstate game to us to watch us live on the WagerTalk TV. So this is working out well. And talking about that injury report, you got to get a kick out of the Sixers. Got 5 guys on, at least last time I checked. 3 of them are G League / two-way are on assignment. DeAndre Jordan, not with team, is his reason for being out. And then Tobias Harris, as Tony said, is questionable with an injury / illness, and then it says non-COVID illness. So that's the times we live in right now. It's a very entertaining. I like not with team. It's one of the best ones yet. But yeah, that'll be an additional element. They'll be interesting. The Sixers are going to be tough. I'm bullish on them going forward, but not necessarily bullish on them tonight. This one just looks too easy, right? When the line came out, I knew the public was going to pound the Sixers at just -7 or so against a Cleveland team that is 1-5 straight up, but more importantly, 0-6 ATS their last 6 games. Philly, of course, has won 6 out of 7. They've gone 4-0 straight up ATS on the last 3 with Harden in the lineup. But as Tony referenced, they haven't played a complete team. Minnesota, not good defensively at all. And then back-to-back wins over your New York Knicks. And by the way, Joe, the only game that looks as public as this tonight is the Phoenix Suns, which is the late ESPN game. But keep in mind, Paul and Booker are out. So the Knicks, maybe they get it done there. But yeah, I think Cleveland is a contrarian call here, and I think it makes some sense. Look, these teams played just a few weeks ago. Cleveland was only +3 on the road. So is Harden and maybe a no Tobias, is that worth 4 to 5 points? I don't think so. So I think it's an overreaction.
Yep, it's the contrarian gods don't like when the public all pile on one side, so they're going to be looking at the Cavs taking that 7.5 points here tonight. All right, we will move on to a featured matchup here tonight, and it's actually going to be a good one between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls. Now, it's interesting because the Bucks have been garnering all sorts of money when this game opened up. 3.5, it has since gone to 5, even 5.5. We're seeing the total creep up to that 240 mark. So not a lot of belief in the Chicago Bulls at home here, but I don't know. What Milwaukee are we going to get? The one that usually goes on the road isn't great here, Andy Lang. So talk to us from a prop betting perspective. What are you looking at in this one?
Well, I thought Rob Vino did a great job on Wager Talk today breaking down this game. One of the things he brought up is Zach LaVine. I don't know if we know exactly what the status is of him right now. It looks like he's in, but with the knee injury, he hasn't played a whole lot of back-to-back situations. And I just wonder how much are we going to get from LaVine tonight. So I do like the Bucks here. I don't trust any of these teams defensively, especially in crunch time. But I do have some plays that I like in this one. I like the Bulls team total under 117.5. Bulls are struggling, lost 3 in a row. They went over their total against Atlanta, but Atlanta's terrible in defense. They're 27th in defensive efficiency. And the 2 previous games, Chicago went well under this total against Miami and Memphis. I think these are some tough matchups. You could have some fatigue from Chicago. So I like them under 117.5. And then we did this play on Monday's episode, I believe. Vucevic, under 1.5, made 3-pointers. We talked about him not making threes, and he went 0 for 3 that night. So we cashed that one. So last night, he went 1 for 4. That means since the All-Star break, he is 1 for 14. And this play has hit in 7 straight games. He is not making 3. I thought the books were going to put this number at half a made 3. But he needs to make 2 3-pointers tonight in order for the over to catch. So I'll be on the under Vucevic, under 1.5 made 3s for sure tonight in this one.
All right, going with Vucevic. No 3 points for you, Steve Merrill. Talk to us here in this game. It is the second of a back-to-back. That was a back and forth with Atlanta last night. They have been decent on that second of a back-to-back. The problem is they haven't really played anybody worth of anything in a winning fashion in that second game. So what do you think we get from the Bulls tonight?
Yeah, we had a lot of, Andy mentioned Rob on Wager Talk today. Ski did a couple games as well, so I recommend going back and checking that out. And Andy had a couple NBA props as well. So a lot of NBA talk on Wager Talk today here on Wager Talk TV. And Rob actually started it off, I think, by saying, and Ski backed it up as well, these rested teams against no rest teams have been pretty good plays for the most part this season. So Milwaukee does fit the bill there, but I think that's more than priced into the line here. Chicago had won 6 straight. They'd covered 6 out of 7 until this recent 0-3 slide. I don't think they've all of a sudden become a bad team. They're still a game ahead of Milwaukee in the division. They're a solid club, getting more than a couple baskets on their home court here. I do think it's a bounce back spot. And yeah, they played a back and forth game last night, but they were off the previous 2 days on both Tuesday and Wednesday before that. So I think they'll have plenty of rest here and focus for this game. The spot that might be tough would be Philly coming up, and then they have 2 more days off after this. So I think they lay it on the line tonight. Milwaukee's just a team that's tough to trust right now. I know they're the defending world champs. I just get the feeling they're going through the motions, until the playoffs, and then maybe they'll turn it on. But if you look at them against good opponents, they've struggled. Their last win against Miami was obviously a quality win. It was a really good spot for them, a revenge spot at home. They've also got Phoenix, a rematch of the finals on deck this Sunday. And this is coming off 6 straight home games with that Phoenix home game on deck. It's a 1-game sandwich road spot. I actually think the spot is better for Chicago tonight, and there's some line value with them as a big dog.
All right, good stuff there. Talk to us, Tony Mejia. What do you think here? The Bulls at home getting all sorts of points?
What is this total again, Joe? 240?
Yeah, well, it's creeping up there. Yeah.
You know that their first meeting produced a 94-90 result. So and then the total closed 227. But I mean, this is a tell to me. I would go over or nothing. In fact, that's definitely going to be a play for me. The Hawks scored 74 points in the second half last night against Chicago. I guess Trae Young didn't like people assuming that Ayo Dosunmu was the Trae Young stopper just because he held them down the first time they played. And look, Chicago-Milwaukee games are interesting because and this might not be the case tonight. I would assume that the United Center sold out. But, the fact that the Bulls have been terrible for the last few years has made it a big Bucks party with people driving over from Milwaukee to kind of soak in another beatdown of the Bulls. And tonight is the first matchup of this season with the new look, invigorated Chicago Bulls hosting the Bucks. And they'll play 2 more times between now and the end of the regular season. But this could be a statement game for Milwaukee. And the fact that Chicago did play last night, struggled down the stretch. DeRozan has been held down after that tremendous run that he had of 35-point games and shooting over 50%. The Heat were able to corral him. And then last night, he was slowed up considerably by DeAndre Hunter in big plays down the stretch. So, who's going to guard Giannis on the Chicago Bulls? It certainly won't be Nikola Vucevic. So this will be a fun one to watch for numerous reasons. Obviously, the Cavs are still in it, but the Central Division is going to come down to these 2 teams, I would think. I want to see how the Bucks respond to what they've been able to do, bouncing back, clawing back, winning a game that they should have had no business winning against the Miami Heat the other night, and then looking to make that momentum work for them and producing a 3rd straight win and continuing to catapult forward in the Eastern Conference. So, my leans here would definitely be the Milwaukee Bucks. I know the spread is baked in to the back-to-back last night, but I agree with it. And then the over, because I don't think it should be this high. I think somebody knows something.
All right, Guy. Well, you better just hope that Milwaukee feels like playing a full game. That's pretty much it if they cover the spread on the road. Now, let's talk about a total here in our overtime segment in a game that it's going the wrong way. Well, it started high, but it is completely tanked as we look at Utah and New Orleans. 228.5 as an open, and it went where? 222.5 in this one. So looks like the market says, slow down with your high totals here. This one going to be a little bit closer. At least the market thinks so, Steve Merrill. What do you think?
Well, we got several high totals on the board. I'm actually going to use one of them as my free best bet for the show here coming up on a different game. And then Tony just referenced on the highest total on the board, the Milwaukee-Chicago game. But this is another one that's up there And what's interesting to me, though, is there's been a substantial drop. This opened as high as 227, 228 in some spots, now down to 222 and a half, 223. So we've actually seen some money on the under here in this game, Joe. And I think that's kind of curious. Maybe, the thought is that Utah is going to be more focused after our producer Robert's Houston Rockets took them to the wire the other night. And I boldly used that as that's my dog on the show Wednesday, much to your chagrin. Look, Utah remains a much weaker team on the road. It's been that way for years. They have that thin air and altitude at home. They don't have it away. You look at the over-unders, they've been pretty much the same home and away. But what jumps out to me is how bad their statistical defense has been in recent road games. Houston, they allowed to shoot 50% the other night. Phoenix, before that, despite winning the game, they allowed the Suns to shoot 51%. You go back to their other 3 road games over the past month, they've allowed 47, 55, and 56% in those road games. So hard not to make a case for the over here. And one thing about New Orleans is they're putting up some points. This team has scored a lot of points. 7 straight games now. They've put up 114 or more in 6 of those 7. So I like the over here.
Yeah, I mean, the McCollum addition obviously paying dividends offensively, but they have been playing some defense as well there, Tony Mejia. So I get it, but this feels like a unbelievable drop here from that opening number of that 228. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you haven't played the under by now, you can't.
No.
Because the value is now in on the over. So I agree with Steve on that. I'm not going to touch this total, though, because you mentioned it. They've been playing a little bit of defense. Yeah, it was against the awful Lakers and the Sacramento Kings, but they held both teams to 95 points. They've won those games by a combined 58 points. Dominated both. Before that, they beat the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Injuries there, obviously, but they went out and won by 15. So, you're seeing New Orleans really respond to having C.J. McCollum there. Brandon Ingram, you can see that his game has blossomed to the point where he's not forcing things anymore. When he needs to facilitate, he facilitates. When he needs to call his own number, he does that. It'll be a busy matchup for Rudy Gobert tonight, in that he has to deal with Jonas Valanciunas, and they've been using Jackson Hayes as well in a bigger lineup. So, the tweaks that the Pelicans have made since acquiring McCollum, which includes Graham going to the bench, has produced results, and they're home for this one. Conversely, though, this is a focus spot for Utah, because they've got the Thunder next before they close out this 5-game trip, I believe on Sunday against or is it Monday? It's Monday against the Mavericks. So they play Sunday against Oklahoma City. You don't get up for that. And you definitely didn't get up for the Houston Rockets the other night. They sleepwalked through 3.5 quarters before deciding to turn it on late and then winning in overtime in a game Mike Conley bailed them out. But they were a 15-point favorite in that game on the road and nearly choked it away a couple of times. So this is a spot that they definitely have to have their act together, and they're usually good in those spots. They've obviously gotten things in the right direction now that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert have a sustained time in the lineup. So, again, you missed the window on the under, over, or pass for me on that, and I would think the Pelicans are in a decent spot here to continue their improvement.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, Andy, when you get a team like the Pelicans, like Steve had said, are scoring at will here, but then all of a sudden you watch the total tank and go straight down. So what do you do here from a prop betting perspective tonight?
Well, there's several guys you can focus on. I like trying to find some of these middle to lower totals that I think can go over, and there's a great one tonight. Royce O'Neal over 6.5 points. He's gone over in 6 straight games. He's had 9, 9, 9, 10, 7, and 14. So he's going over with frequency. He's been shooting the ball really well. He's made at least 1 3-pointer in, it's almost 15 straight games. So you only get 1 or 2 of those, and you're in good shape. Pelicans not great on the perimeter with their defense just overall with McCollum and Ingram. They've been playing better as of late, but I think this is a sneaky one. And then I have to give this person a shout out. He's a follower on Twitter at Columbo_knows, and he has started sending me some of his props. And they're kind of brilliant. I thought I had some obscure ones. This guy has some obscure ones, and he sent this to me, and I think it's worth discussing. So Rudy Gobert to have a double-double is minus 265. Horrible odds, right? Well, he's had a double-double in 38 out of 47 games he's played this season, and two of the unders were when he came back from injury and he had a minutes restrictions. So I'm not sure you're playing those anyways. And if you do the math, you'd be up almost $1,900 if you bet $100 on this every game of the season. It's kind of brilliant. He's had big double-doubles since coming back from the All-Star break. Last game against New Orleans, he had a double-double. I thought it was worth mentioning. I appreciate his plays. And if you're out there and you want to send me some of your props, I love looking over them. I love seeing what people are playing out there. That's at Bump Sports. So shout out to him. Keep sending in those plays.
Those numbers are no joke, man, that percentage right there with good old Rudy getting it done. Now, Merrill, you just heard him, right, blow a lot of smoke up his own ass for taking Houston the other night as an underdog. Well, let's see. Let's see what kind of balls he's got tonight. Robert, let's see what we got for dogs tonight.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Well, let's see who's on the card tonight for a dog. And I do believe, in fact, if I'm not crazy here, but I do believe we might actually have. Could it be the Houston? Oh, yes, the Houston Rockets are an absolute dog here tonight, as we've got them, the Cavs, the Pistons, the Wizards, the Chicago Bulls, the Orlando Magic, Mejia, huh? All right, Pelicans, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the New York Knicks. So, come on, Mejia, start us off. Are you going with your Magic here tonight with 7? Come on, it's a winnable game. Come on.
I've gone with the Magic once, and they failed me, and I'll never go to them again. They're on the no-touch list. So, absolutely not. You know who hasn't failed me? Who hasn't failed anybody in their last 6 games? This is the Detroit Pistons. Wake them up. I was on them last night. I wasn't on the show, but I was on them straight up. So the Contrarian Gods were my friends last night, and they took care of the Raptors, and that was wonderful. And they, like I said, have covered 6 straight games. They're 4-2 in those games straight up, and really playing much better basketball. You see Cade Cunningham feeling himself and being more in tune with what he needs to do for his teammates. Sadiq Beg's production hasn't tailed off, even with Jeremy Grant now getting major minutes. So I like this team. I think they're more together than Indiana is at the moment. So it doesn't scare me that they're playing a second night of a back-to-back. The trip from Toronto across the border into the States to get back home to Detroit is very minimal. So I think they'll be good to go, and I will take the points against Indiana.
All right, man. It's taking the points going with the Pistons here tonight. See if they can't win back-to-back games. How about it, Andy? Come on. Got some dogs, some juicy dogs on this card. Where are you looking tonight?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Tony's only taking the Pistons because, the Pacers can't stop, centers, forwards, or guards. But other than that, they're pretty good on defense, right? But other than that, they're fine on defense. So, yeah. I gotta take the Pelicans. They're 3-0 ATS last 3. Utah 1-4 their last ATS on the road. They played in January. Utah won by 11, but that was with no CJ McCollum. I kind of like this Pelicans team. I think they're feisty. The team totals that they've held their opponents to might be a little bit of smoke and mirrors, but I just don't buy into this Utah team. They struggle against these smaller lineups. That was a very strange game against Houston. They just don't feel like the big threat that they really should be. So if I'm getting +4 on this Pelicans team that I think can be a real annoyance to some of these top-tier teams, I love getting +4. So give me the Pelicans.
All right, going with the Pelicans. And all right, Steve, you did I hope you didn't hurt your shoulder patting yourself on the back before about the Rocket pick there earlier in the week. So I'm just kind of curious. They are look at them, 13.5. They're winking at it. They're the highest dog on the board. Are you willing to go 2 for 2 here tonight?
No, first of all, we never play the Rockets. We play against their opponent. Okay. And let's get that very clear. That's what I was doing on Wednesday. In all seriousness, it was a terrible spot for the Jazz, right? The Jazz were coming off the upset of Phoenix. They had the look ahead road game here at New Orleans on deck, and they were laying 15 on the road. So I was playing against Utah. It worked out with the Rockets. Now they're playing a Denver team that lost as the biggest favorite of the season to Oklahoma City on Wednesday. So Denver should be focused tonight. So I want nothing to do with Robert's Houston Rockets. I agree with Andy, by the way, in New Orleans. I was debating between that and this other game. So since he used the Pelicans, and since I want to give you something to be happy about, Joe Raineri, I'll take your New York Knicks as my dog tonight. And once again, let's be clear. It's never a play on the Knicks. It's a play against their opponent, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're playing against the Phoenix Suns, who have played well. At least they did against Portland, who very well might be the worst team. Speaking of dogs, Portland might be the worst team in the league right now. So let's not give Phoenix, let's not pat them on the back too much for beating Portland by 30 without Devin Booker and Chris Paul in the lineup. I think it catches up to them tonight. And this is a real sandwich flat spot again, as they have a huge finals revenge game at Milwaukee on Sunday, coming off a 30-point home win, the end of a 4-game homestand against a Knicks team that is struggling, 6 straight losses, 1-10 straight up in ATS, their last 11. I think there's some reasons, though, to take the Knicks here tonight. And by the way, let's be sassy. Let's take them at plus 240 on the money line, because the straight-up winner has covered each of the past 14 Knick games. They've won 2, and they've lost the other 12 straight up in ATS. So sprinkle a little on the money line if you dare back them tonight.
I can't think of any team I would rather not sweat out at 10 o'clock Eastern time than the New York Knicks. Oh, my God, it's disgusting. All right, best bets, Robert. Get me out of here. You just see it now, like 12 o'clock, and I'm going, oh, the Knicks, just make a bucket. Just make one bucket. Give me one bucket. That's all we need. And then throw up and be pissed off the rest of the night. Best bet, 60 seconds on the clock here. And Andy, we're coming to you. Talk to us here in the card. Where are you going for a best bet tonight?
Scariest words in sports, Joe. I'll take the Knicks and the points.
Take the money line.
Getting kinky.
5% play is up at WagerTalk.com. Looking forward to a great Friday night. Loaded card. We got lots of props attached to the 5% play. I'm going to go back to the Bucks and the Bulls and take our good friend Drew Holiday over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He has been fantastic since the return from the All-Star break. He's had 31, 35, and 41 points, rebounds, and assists in the 3 games. Bulls just been a sieve on defense on the perimeter. They just gave up 39 points, 3 rebounds, and 13 assists to Trae Young last night. Levine, I still think, is going to be a little bit hobbled. I can't imagine he's going to have a lot of fun chasing around Holiday. Against Miami, Gabe Vincent scored 20 points against the Bulls, and against Memphis, John Morant went for 46, 4, and 3. Holiday, big advantage. Give him his over.
All right. Up and over. Love it. Talk to me here, Tony Mahia. A lot of places on the board to go. What are you cooking up for us here tonight for a best bet?
Let me publicly admonish the prop market first, because anywhere you look, you cannot find a Cam Johnson prop. Cam Johnson is the 6th man of the Phoenix Suns. He just, got told by Monty Williams that he needs to shoot more with Devin Booker and Chris Paul off the bench, and he still beat his prop the other night of over 17 points. So where the hell are his numbers? Very disappointed in that. If you guys see a Cam Johnson prop against those evil Knicks, you should ride the over on that, because I think he's going to have a big night. No, truly, all kidding aside, it's obscene that there's no number on him. As far as my best bet for tonight, it's the Hawks and at the Wizards. I like the over. The Wizards have been 57.2% effective field goal percentage over the last 5 games. That's 5th in the league. That's sneaky. Hawks obviously scored 74 points in the second half last night, with Trae going for 39 and 13. Bogdanovich, Herter, and Hunter, 55 points combined. So everybody's clicking. Give me the over tonight. Hawks at Wizards.
All right, like that, man. Hawks Wizards over, and I can't find it either. I just looked also no props on Cam. That's kind of crazy when you think about it there. Talk to us here, Steve Merrill. 60 seconds on the board. What do you got circled for us here? Come on.
Yeah, I got a free NBA over-under bet for tonight. I'm going to get to in a moment here. Quick reminder, 3 strong side best bets for Friday night. 2 in the NBA, 1 in college hoops. Number 1 in the college hoops the past 2 years at WagerTalk.com. Number 1 in the NBA the past 10 months alone of over 70-plus units of profit. So check out a strong 3-pack for Friday night. Don't forget also my college basketball top 25 video will be posted Friday night for Saturday and Sunday's games right here on WagerTalk TV. And look at the over between Oklahoma City and Minnesota. Now, look. About a month ago, the best bet in all of sports was T-Wolves over on the road. It started 17-6 this season. Then they went under in a game on January 25th, and now they've gone over 8 straight, so it's still not broke. They're now 25-7 over on the road. Oklahoma City quietly playing better offensively, 6 straight overs. A team that barely averages 100 points for the season has put up 129. I'm sorry, they put up 119 and 129 and 110 in their last 3 overs. T-Wolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, over 230.5. Minnesota scored 231 or more in 9 of their past 10 games, and they get there again tonight on Friday.
Boom, there you go. All right, good stuff here, guys, on what is a loaded card in the association. As we head into this Friday evening, let's recap what we're looking at, including Andy going with Pelicans. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give me the points there against the Utah Jazz at home. His best bet, though, is going to be Holiday over to 30.5 PRA here tonight. We do have a Pistons vote from Tony Mejia. Take the 3 against what is, in all likelihood, is still a hobbled Toronto team tonight. His best bet, though, is going to expect points with the Hawks and the Wizards over 224, while Steve Merrill is doing the unthinkable. He is going with the New York Knicks on the damn money line. Oh, my word, against Phoenix there. But his best bet is going to be Timberwolves Thunder over 230.5 in OKC tonight, while the contrarian gods say take the 7.5 points with the Cavs tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. And it is a loaded card tonight on the hardwood, guys, both in the NBA and in college basketball. You heard these guys tell you best bets are locked and loaded right now. WagerTalk.com. If you head over there, you can head over to Andy Lang's page, Tony Mejia's page, Steve Merrill's page, guys, or just go and get yourself one of those 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day all-access passes, and you'll get every one of their best bets. And that's really the way to do it, guys. Invest in one of those all-access packages. Never miss a play, including their 5% best bets. And this would be one hell of a weekend to kick off here, guys, especially tonight in the NBA. Hit the bell in that upper right-hand corner. Make plans to come back and join us again on Monday. We'll do it all over again, as we'll be totally entrenched in the hardwood, both in college and the NBA once again, and should be an awful lot of fun and a very profitable week as well. Until then, on behalf of Andy Lang, Tony Mejia, and Steve Merrill, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with your plays tonight and this weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Good luck.
Founded in 1957, The Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter and has been serving bettors for over 6 decades. Whether you are a lifelong subscriber, used to buy it at the newsstand, or perhaps have never seen The Gold Sheet, we want to share this amazing March Madness offer with you. Get 5 weeks of access to both the college basketball and NBA Gold Sheet newsletter for only $29. This will give you daily access to both the complete NBA and college basketball reports, which includes power ratings, strength of schedule, average line, against the spread records, and more. Get all of this for under $1 a day. It's not your dad's newsletter where games were written a week in advance, but rather up-to-date stats, scores, injuries, and all of the information to make you a March Madness expert. Head to goldsheet.com and get your March Madness on for only $29.